So it's the Diamond Challenge Sculls between Ollie Zeidler on this near side of the course and the improving Aussie, the vastly improving Aussie, David Bartholot from Sydney University Boat Club at the top of your picture. I'm joined in the commentary now, thanks to Mark Hunter, but a former Diamond Challenge Sculls winner, none other than Greg Searle. Hi, Greg.
Hi, Martin. Good to be joining you. Good to be joining everyone to bring you finals day at Henley, and it's the Diamonds. Look at that lovely calm water.
This is the final of the Diamond Challenge Sculls between Bartholot of Australia at the top of your picture and Ollie Zeidler from Germany on the right of your picture, blasting off the start.
Yeah, both scullers getting away pretty well. We know it can be a little bit bumpy. It has been earlier in the week, but it's lovely out there on the water today. That wind has dropped. Looking at Ollie Zeidler here, just getting off his station. That's Richard Phelps giving him the flag, steering back on. He's going to follow that move very nicely, correctly, and get back towards his station. He's such a big man, but his sculling skills are just getting better and better.
So Ollie Zeidler has changed clubs from his Donau club down in Munich where he lives to Frankfurt Rudergesellschaft 869. The German club got a really good setup for him. He's now studying accountancy and tax laws, having worked as an intern, I think, for Deloitte. And his tactics aren't a surprise in this. He wants to get clear water, doesn't he, Greg?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? In a single scull, you know, there's even more in the mind than any boat. So whilst we're seeing this side-by-side match racing, Ollie Zeidler will want to get ahead here. He'll want to shake off the Australian sculler beside him. And I think Bartholot has done a really nice job here of actually not letting Zeidler slip him. He's kept that overlap. And now Zeidler's going to be a little bit disappointed. Hang on, what's this guy doing still here?
Bartholot's been fantastic through this regatta. The former surf boat rower took up rowing in 2016. Sculled in various world championships, never hit the high notes. He was in a double with Caleb Antil in 2019 that finished 12th out of the Olympic qualifying position, and he is in fact the reserve for the Australian double. But I think with Alex Hill's injury, the Australian selected in the men's single sculls, Bartholot will probably reckon that he's got the slot for the 2022 World Championships, and this race is an important part of that journey.
Well, I think on this form he's looking like he deserves it. He's at 35 strokes a minute. You can see they're through that quarter mile, and what he's managed to do is all that power and energy that came out of Zeidler wasn't enough to slip him. As it is, you know, sculling very nicely, a little bit smoother looking, a little bit easier on the eye, probably Bartholot in terms of his technique, has kept him with him, and I think he'll be very pleased actually to have settled into this.
I mean, you've raced on this course with the water. You know, Ollie Zeidler was talking to our co-commentator Kath Bishop last night at a dinner in the Stewards, and he was saying one of the reasons I've come here was because I didn't really make it in the Olympic semi-final. He finished 4th in that race because the water was rough, and he said, I've targeted Henley because of the water. This is where I want to row. I want to sharpen my skills. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's great to challenge yourself, bring himself here. Of course, he won the Diamonds back in 2019, so he knows this course. He knows how to win on it. But yeah, absolutely, he's dealing with more difficult conditions. We've got the water that moves, of course. It's a busy Sunday. And you've also got this match racing element, and I think this is a really interesting match racing element in your head as to how Zeidler's going to be feeling that right now, with Bartholot still pretty much overlapping him here.
So on flat water, there is no one I think who can outsprint Ollie Zeidler in the final sort of 150, 200 metres of a race, but this isn't flat water, and you've got a man who can pull 5:37 on the Concept 2K. I don't know what Bartholot's PB is on that machine, but it won't be sub 5:40.
Well, he won't have that power that Zeidler's got, but has he got the efficiency? Can he handle this water better? As you see him take that little look to his left, and he'll know, yeah, I'm still in here, I've still got this overlap, I'm still putting total pressure on Zeidler. They're going to be coming through that halfway marker. It's Forley. We know they're more or less halfway down the course here. And again, Bartholot's still right in this.
He has sculled above himself at every race. He beat Ben Davison early in the regatta, the bronze medalist from the Poznan World Cup, which was a fantastic result. Bartholot finished 7th in that World Cup. He beat Bastian Secker, the 5th place at Poznan, in the semi-final. He has lifted his game every single race, the Australian.
And what he's got to hope is that Zeidler isn't able to keep the pace up, because I now think they've hit that third quarter. They're both at about 34 strokes a minute, and Bartholot was able to hang in there in that second quarter, but now that look over his shoulder is going to be one that's going to tell him, I've now lost the overlap. He now has a little bit of clear water, and I think Zeidler now is going to think, now's the moment to just hold those blades in a little bit deeper, press those legs down a little bit harder. You can see what a big man he is. We've seen him walking around the town. You know this guy is a big, strong athlete. He doesn't need to get those shins necessarily completely vertical to still row a really powerful middle of the stroke and move the boat an awfully long way. And there he is, just focused, and just keeps delivering one stroke after another. And I think he's going to be able to be opening the gap right now.
Great 100-metre swimmer, Ollie Zeidler, before he came into rowing. Burst on the scene in 2018 at the World Cup in Belgrade, where he took a bronze medal, and then took that world title back in 2019. Unforgettable race, beating Sverre Nielsen and Kjetil Borch.
Yeah, and as we look now at Bartholot, you can see quite a difference in terms of his style. His shins are coming all the way up to vertical. He's closing that angle between his backside and his heels to get absolute maximum length. He needs to slide that long to get anything like the same length of stroke in the water that Zeidler gets, because of course Zeidler is such a big guy. Zeidler also showing a bit of nous here, that he's left himself just drift off his station a little bit, just been corrected by the umpire. It's an easy and a small correction to make, but he'll be trying to make it uncomfortable for the Australian to his right-hand side.
It's a real rowing family that Ollie Zeidler comes from. He's actually being coached here by Johannes Faber, whose his grandfather took gold in the German Cox 4 in the 1972 Olympics. Normally he's coached by Heino Zeidler, his dad, but he's a policeman in Munich, and there's something going on in Munich. He couldn't make the trip to Henley.
We're looking at Zeidler now coming down towards the enclosures. We know it's going to be a good roar. There's a good crowd in today. I mean, in terms of looking like an athlete, if you're going to look at shoulders, you're going to look at physique, then this guy has got it. But what goes with it is that that's a 14-kilogram boat that he's sitting in, and it's moving along really smoothly underneath him. You can see the balance of it. You can see it's not pitching end on end, despite the fact it's got a big man inside it. And yeah, just you can see the line is sculled. It's really nice and tidy, and Bartholot is really going to have to find something special to get past him now.
So I guess Ollie Zeidler's not going to do anything special in the last part of this race. We've got about another 30-35 strokes to go, Greg. Is he just going to keep it the same and just look at Bartholot come back at him but not by enough?
I think they'll both need to squeeze it on. I mean, if we find Zeidler has nowhere to go, then Bartholot could come back at him. But at this point, I think he's got it in control. So he'll have planned the race. He knows how he needs to finish. As you say, he's probably got an extra 1 or 2% he could go to, but he's looking great coming towards the finish line now.
Ollie Zeidler of Germany from the Frankfurter Ruhrgesellschaft Club comes up to the finish line ahead of David Bartholot from Australia. The Sydney University Boat Club man's handed him a great race, but Ollie Zeidler wins the Diamonds for the second time, puts his name on a trophy with the likes of Mahe Drysdale, Thomas Langer, Steve Redgrave, Greg Searle, of course, and the sculling greats, and Zeidler is loving that, Greg.
Ollie, talk me through that race. How smooth was it?
It was pretty good. I had a good start, and then I was able to just keep relaxed, keep long, and stay in touch with the other guy. And then I tried to do a few tens with more pressure, and every time I got more distance between us, and I'm really pleased with the result and the race.
How much do you enjoy racing here? This is your second time you've come here, second win.
Yeah, that's why this is the reason I'm back, because the crowd cheering at you all along the course is just awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, second Henley, second win. I don't need to say that. Yeah.